Hello friends, welcome to Accessorize Your Life, where aging gracefully and accessorizing your life meet. I'm Julia, and today's video is the third and final Tablescape video for the month of February. And yes, I brought two others to you, that being the Chinese New Year or Lunar New Year and Valentine's Day Tablescape. I did both of those together, but this one, which is so near and dear to my heart, I wanted it to be its own video. So you're looking at a picture that I've had for several years, and I call her May, Miss May as a matter of fact. I just love her attire. But anyway, I wanted to do this video because of course, Black history is my history. It's my roots, it's my everything. Several years ago, wanted to know exactly where my people originated from. I wanted a little more information, so I took part of the AncestryDNA.com site to just send in a saliva sample so that they could tell me from my DNA where my people came from. And it gave me an answer. It said about 38% were of Nigerian descent, 20% Cameroon, Congo, and Western Bantu, 14% Mali, 8% Ivory Coast and Ghana, and 20% other regions. And I'm taking that. They did tell me the 20% was like Europe and in South Pacific or something like that. But I share this with you just to let you know that we're all, even though we know we are either Irish American or Jewish American or African American, we still want to know exactly where our people, what region they came from. And it just gives us a sense of who we are even more. Well, as a Black American, I look at the Africa continent and think I am a part of it. And I look at the North American continent and say I am a part of it. So those two worlds can come together and help mold me and shape me, and I can just embrace it. So as I set my table, I want to remember all of the African Americans, whether they're Black Americans or African Americans, they're as a collective group, and all the things they have contributed to our society. And there are many, from all walks of life, from all arenas of arts. It's just enormous. This year, since it's not good for us to get out to restaurants or theater or museums or art galleries, I had to bring my celebration right here where I am, home. So in part, I started to pick up books that I've had for many years that I probably have not finished reading. For instance, Toni Morrison's Sula. This is a beautiful yet spicy novel about everyday life for Black American women. And Toni Morrison does a great job of just weaving and putting you through these two women's lives and how they came through at the end. Another book that I probably haven't finished yet either is by Marian Wright Edelman, and she talks about how important it is to start our children off so that they can be successful in life. So it's like an open letter to your children and anyone else's. And a third book that I don't agree with the author much, I'm used to watch him on television, Tavis Smiley, that's called How to Make Black America Better. And it gave about so many challenges that challenge ourselves with and how to make Black America better. And one that I kind of stopped at was every Black American should establish a Black American legacy. And so it's thought-provoking, if nothing else. It really gets you in the mind of thinking about your life and what you're doing with it and how it affects others. And A Bit of History is a book by Gary B. Nash, and it's The Forgotten Fifth. It talks about when America wrote about their freedom, the forefathers, but they forgot about a fifth of Americans, and they didn't write them into that Freedom Act or anything. And it talks about how we could have avoided a war, the Civil War, if all men were in fact created and treated equally. So it's everybody's history. And the last book that I probably have finished, for the most part, I've gone through almost every page, is a book I got from my mom. It was one of her favorite books when she was living, and it's called The Taste of Country Cooking by Edna Lewis. Edna Lewis lived, I think she was born and lived in Virginia, and she talks about cooking in her family as it relates to seasons and time of the year versus just what you want. But the time of the year dictate what you ate, and because of what they grew on the farm. So it's a really good read. It's one of these cookbooks that you really don't want to have on a computer. You just want to have the hard copy. This is a really good read. So this is how I have spent this month, looking back over books I've had, reading things online pertaining to Black American history, and again, thinking about my DNA and where my people originated from. And it all just spoke to me in a way that I thought it would make an interesting tablescape as well. So let's get to that part. Set for 2 in remembrance of Black history, of all those who've gone on before us, and for those to come. I think it's done very simple, yet to the point. The candle holder in the background there, with the placemat and the cup, tell the story on its own. The candle holder represents the origins, the stock from which we come. The 7 candles recreate the sun's light, the power it has. The placemat is the foundation for which we stand and rise. The unity cup, each member at the table, although it's just two, drink from that cup to promote and remember and strengthen unity within the family. Simple but effective. I chose to use a runner that looked very organic to me. Cotton with the stripe, black and white, red placemats, black dishes, silver utensils with a very rustic organic handle on them, table linen. Actually, the napkins are kitchen towels, but they are so textured, so rich looking, even though the colors are just gray and white. I love the texture against the runner and the red and the black plates. I used the centerpiece of greenery that is a boxwood, and in it I stuck a little African statue and two statues on either end of the boxwood greenery. The furthest one is of a warrior with his shield and his arrow, and the one closest to us is of a woman with a water jug on her head. Beside her is a knife and fork carved with the head of a woman and a man, both from Africa. So you see, you use what you have at home here. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You just use what you have, because every family, no matter what ethnicity it is, have things that are dear to them and their heritage. You just pull them up and put them together. It doesn't have to be a lot, just enough so that you can recreate or even create a table that represents you and helps you to remember who you are through your history. And over here to the side, I have a jug for our drinks and a few vegetables and fruit on a mat. Upon it sits a carving board. On the chairs thrown against the back, I have fabric that is from Nigeria. And the glasses are just goblets for either water or some type of drink. Thank you for tuning in to Accessorize Your Life. I hope you've enjoyed my tablescape, remembering Black history, and just bringing it to the forefront for this month, because Black history, his history, our history is experienced every day. No matter what your heritage is, you're experiencing your history every day. You're living it. Thank you for watching.